Hey fam, so welcome to the Deep Mirror readings. These readings will address what was the old mirror, what does the inner child really want, what's the current inner challenge in order to shift, what's the current outer challenge to overcome that's reflecting that inner process, what's the potential outcome if you don't shift, what's the potential outcome if you do shift? What's the guidance spirit has and your highest good to help you shift into the new mirror? And what does the new mirror look like? This is secret code name Giraffe. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what secret code names are, or you'd like to see the shuffle, I have linked that live in the description. You can go and watch it if you like. Otherwise, we're going to get right into this. So secret code name Giraffe. Let's see what we've got going on here. Okay. Okay. All right. Secret code name Giraffe. And those who are drawn to the message, the old mirror or the shadow, right, that you're coming out of. We have the Fool. As the old mirror, the shadow used humor to wound rather than liberate. Denial of your emotional truth, right? Wearing the mask and laughing or smiling or making it feel like it's no big deal, or even, cracking a kind of sideways joke that takes a dig at somebody without actually taking a dig at somebody because it's a joke or it's humorous, right? And not really being honest with your feelings. So that's the old mirror. Especially, I feel like especially receiving, right? Where people would say mean things or say something underhanded. And then you would kind of laugh like it wasn't bothering you, or smile or kind of brush it off, but on the inside it hurt a lot, right? So now the light attribute is fearlessly revealing your emotions, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy, seeing the kind of almost like reflecting their mirror back to them, right? Instead of taking on the wounds, which is where the harshness that they were projecting out came from, and internalizing it, right? And feeling the pain of someone else through their words or their actions that you're just kind of having to smile through or laugh through. Now it's like kind of fearlessly talking about how it makes you feel, like, and kind of blowing the mirror back at them and end with a laugh, like, oh, that's funny because this or that, and not letting it bother you anymore. So you're coming out of a mirror of wearing a mask, right? The old mirror wore a mask and hid the emotions, where now, you might be coming into a light where you are 100% more likely to express how you feel in response to other people's pain and not let it bother you personally, rather just reflect it right back to them because they need it reflected back to them. They need to see the hypocrisy or the absurdity in what they're saying. So what does the inner child really want? We've got solar plexus, which is all about confidence. It's all about courage. It's all about taking the lead in your life and your energy and the direction that you're putting your energy in. It's really about feeling alive with light and knowing who you are, you know, and not just you as an individual, but you in connection with spirit, you being an extension of the divine, and nothing that anybody else's demons can throw at you can stick, because the shadow just doesn't stick to light. You know what I mean? It's actually the other way around. And the more light you are, the less likely the demons of other people are going to start throwing shade at you, because it just comes right back to them. You know, they're not going to want to say some underhanded shit to you or sideways shit to you, because you're likely to throw it back at them and not just smile and take it. Ooh, there was a motorcycle revving in the background, divine confirmation. You know, that you're moving on from it and you're not taking what they said seriously. And people with wounds, you know, their inner demons will say things to hurt others because it gives them some sense of validation. And when you don't allow them to validate their shadows stop throwing shade, because they don't like failing. They don't like failing. They don't like having their own energy returned to them. So, you know, it really is off-putting for the demons of others when you just simply shine and are good with that, and know that you are a spiritual divine being in connection with that high energy, and there's nothing they could say or do to actually hurt you. You know, it's just simply a reflection of their own inner energy. You know, it's like that Wayne Dyer, I think it is, Wayne Dyer quote, where it's kind of like what other people do is a reflection of them, and how you respond is a reflection of you. So if you put on the mask and you're sad on the inside and you're laughing like it doesn't matter when it does, that's a reflection of your own inner wounds, you know. And if people want to throw shade and try and hurt you, it really truly is a reflection of their own inner pain and their own hurts, and that's a demon they have to conquer within themselves. It has nothing to do with you, you know. But if that demon wants to show itself and make itself known in your presence, well, then it's going to get called out for exactly what it is, in a very lighthearted but very real and honest way, right? So what's the current inner challenge in order to shift? If you can accuse another of lying, then you must face how you've lied to yourself. What's intolerable, right? Mirror, mirror. If you know someone's lying, right, especially their demons, if they're lying about you or your purpose here or your energy and the value of your presence, if you know they're lying and you brush it off or try and pretend like, oh, it's just funny, it's a joke or whatever, then you are lying to yourself, because it's not tolerable. Right? It's not tolerable. That's the challenge that you really need to look at in order to shift, right? That you will not lie to yourself and accept behavior that is not tolerable. It's not fair. For the outer challenge to overcome that's reflecting this inner process, we have the World, the Death card, the Three of Pentacles, and the Lovers in reverse. When something doesn't close and the wound keeps reopening, and you don't actually have to stay contracted or obligated to someone, it leaves you feeling like you have no choice, right? Or you don't want the contract. You don't want the connection with them, especially if they're constantly doing this intolerable shit. But you feel like you have no choice but to stay, probably because of labels, titles, things like that. You feel obligated to a connection that you don't genuinely feel good being a part of. I feel that the challenge is really going to be reminding yourself that you do have a choice and that you can change, which will by default prompt other people to change, or it will change your reality with them and close the cycle, right? Because if they don't like that you're putting their mirror back at them, or you're exposing their own feelings and it's not bothering you, but making it very apparent for them that this is a them issue that has nothing to do with you and that they can't take it out on you, they're either going to shift and stop treating you in intolerable ways, or they're going to shift out of your reality because they're not going to want to have it thrown back at themselves. And so this is recognizing that cycles can close, things can change, unwanted connections can be released, and that you always have a choice, right? That you always have a choice. The potential outcome if you don't shift. The Knight of Swords is in the reverse with the Star card and the Five of Wands, which means you're not speaking up and in a constant state of healing within the battle, and you can't heal in the same places that are wounding you or opening old wounds. It continues in the cycle, right? Where you would go back into the shadow and not speak up, not use your voice, right? Be outside of that open solar plexus that has the courage and the confidence to just say it, to reflect what needs to be reflected. You'll find yourself constantly healing on the battleground, just taking on more wounds, right? You won't be able to see the future. You won't be able to see the end game because these misaligned contracts won't go anywhere and they'll just continue, right? They'll just continue. If you do shift, the potential outcome if you do shift, we have the Three of Cups with the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups, which means these third-party energies, honestly, they wish for healing too, you know what I mean? And sometimes we're called to be that one. We're called to be that one that's honest. And so I feel like ultimately you end up experiencing energies outside of yourself that are more in alignment with your wish fulfillment, your emotional fulfillment. You do end up having what feels like more of a vision, more of a higher sensing about what is good for you and not good for you, and are able to connect with people who are truly good for you. You know, we're talking 10, 9, 3 is 22 cups. 22 is a master number. Like, that's co-creating energy with spirit on a very emotional level with the cups, on an intuitive level with the cups. So like, you've always known what needed to be said. You just kind of laughed it off and bit your tongue, where you were never meant to bite your tongue. Maybe you were meant to laugh, but maybe you were also meant to speak, you know? And I feel like now where you're at or where you're going, if you should decide to shift, it is fulfilling on very deeply emotional levels. It is feeling super connected and close to spirit. It is feeling powerful. It is feeling like a cleansing force. Like, your presence in and of itself is a cleansing force because you can allow yourself to speak directly and not feel like you have to delude or hide pain, because it's not your pain. It's the pain of other people. Why do you have to take it in and bring it in personal to yourself? It's not your pain. It never was. It was always the pain of other people, and it's not a natural part of you. And so once you start to expel that energy out, not only do you heal, but everybody does. Truly. That's the outcome if you do shift. It's a lot of joy, a lot of reasons to celebrate. It's the beauty of life. It is the things that we want as individuals, you know, our personal wishes coming to fruition, because those wishes were always meant to manifest, right? How we want to feel and wish to feel was always meant to manifest, and it's feeling full. It's feeling at purpose. It's feeling at ease, emotional ease, and allowing that ease to create healthy relationships with other people. So the guidance that spirit would have in your highest good to help you shift into this new year is bright destiny. And then we're going to get into the tarot and take a real look at what this new mirror looks like. So bright destiny, it says, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. I do love this card. I love this card so much. Card number 14. So it says, you become truly yourself, shining your divine beauty and light. You will go through a process of releasing what is no longer right and true for you. Like the caterpillar who sheds the chrysalis when it is time to emerge as the butterfly, you will let go of the person you once thought you needed to be. This can feel freeing, exciting. It can also seem frightening. You may feel crazy sometimes trying to hold on to a past that is no longer available to you and grasping for a future that is yet to be. Sometimes it can feel like a dark night of the soul filled with questioning and confusion. Others may not understand what is happening, and you may feel as though you can't really explain it either. In such times, we have to trust that all the changes and uncertainty are part of the process of growth. Letting go in order to open up to something amazing and new. This is happening for you now. You don't have to be afraid. You are going through this because you are ready for it, even if you think you're not. There is a loving reason for all of it, even if you cannot see that right now. Put your faith in the mystery. Trust that the answers will come, and so will joy of all that you have grown into. Stay true to your path and know that you have a bright destiny ahead. It says you can place your hands in prayer and bow your head. Feel like you are surrendering and letting go. As you do so, a beautiful light shines all around you, holding you safe and bringing peace to your heart. Let your heart feel light and smile gently. Really trusting in your transformation. Bright destiny. When you emerge from the chrysalis, right? Like opening up the solar plexus chakra, you could definitely watch and listen to different like solfeggio frequencies that align with the solar plexus. I feel like when you really just embrace who you are as a light, and allow yourself to shine and not be deterred or put off in your own energy by other people. That you can just be light and call it for what it is and not let it stick and leave them questioning why they feel the need, right, to hurt you or anybody. Why they feel that need to wound others in order to validate their own suffering. I think you're going to find yourself in such a beautifully free space. And you really are going to fly. You know, this beautiful outcome is up to you. And I don't doubt that you're going to end up choosing it. So let's see what this new mirror looks like. Let's see what this new mirror looks like for secret code name Giraffe. And to be fair, as an animal medicine, like Giraffe sees the danger before everybody else does. And when Giraffe is alerted of danger and starts to run, everybody else knows it's time to pull away from that person, you know, or that energy, because they're predatory, right? They're shadow and they're predatory. And so when you're alerted of it, you give fair warning to everybody else that there is an energy around that is not acceptable, and you're out. Like, you're not going to tolerate it. You know what I mean? Hey, Kristen, how you doing? You're not going to tolerate it. And it cues everybody else to do the same thing. Like, if you would move away from such a predatory energy, it's going to give other people permission to also move away from the predatory energy. And it's not a matter of ganging up on anyone, because the giraffes don't gang up on whatever the predator is. They're just out and everybody sees it and follows suit because they trust the giraffe and the giraffe's sight, right? Having their head so high up above the ground, having that height as an advantage. And it's really knowing that your cue of this energy is not good, I'm not dealing with it, I'm out. It gives other people permission to choose the same or stay with the predatory energy, you know, take their chances. But chances are, if they stick around it long enough, if you were the scapegoat and the scapegoat's gone, the target tends to shift onto other people and they'll end up following suit just like you did. You know what I mean? And so everybody ends up healing because you did. So what does this new mirror look like, please, Spirit? For secret code name Giraffe. The Wheel of Fortune out first. The Apprentice of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. It's a cute little crab on that card. Cancerian energy. The Nine of Pentacles. And the Four of Cups. Clarities, please. Yeah, that Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune with that Three of Pentacles reverse. You really do get to release these contracts that just, they need to heal. They need to be inspired by your movements. They need to be inspired by the choices that you made to not tolerate. It's unacceptable, right? No matter what the labels are, the titles are, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable is unacceptable. We're all adults. We're all responsible for our healing. Bottom of the deck is Judgment. Top is the Six of Swords. Got lots of animal energy on these cards. We've got puffins. We've got tigers. We've got bees, crabs, horses, goldfish, and seahorses. I feel that when you make that judgment call to move forward, that's what kicks off this new mirror. You make the judgment call to move forward in your own energy. That you allow how you feel to eclipse what you think you should do because blah, 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 right? When you allow the intuition to really take the lead, the Wheel of Fortune turns and you get to release certain things that sting, right? This Three of Pentacles has the bees on it. It's the beehive and the bees. And it came up in the reverse, which would, you know, indicate a contract with someone else that stings. It stings. It's not a sweet contract. It stings. The Wheel of Fortune turns, not just for you, but for them as well. The Page of Pentacles with the Champion of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. It really does present the opportunity, right? It plants that seed. It creates the opportunity for someone to grow, to be inspired to grow. It sets off like a chain reaction. The Nine of Pentacles with the Two of Wands. And in your sovereignty, you are at pause. At sovereignty, you are in a place of having your body, your experience, your soul being treated sacred like a temple. If you would not allow someone to walk into a temple and desecrate it, why would you allow someone to come into your energy and desecrate it? If your body, your energy space, your aura, your presence is a temple, no one would ever allow someone to walk into a temple, a sacred space, and trash it. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. When you're sovereign, that's the vibe, right? when you're in that energy, that high energy, being in that beautiful place of pause, my presence, my energy is a sacred space. I'm not allowing anybody else to disrespect or trash my temple, my energy. The Four of Cups with the Elder of Cups in the reverse, you're really able to let go of the soulmate energy that is emotionally unintelligent, where their emotions are not under control. They're not under control because they're not sovereign. So when you're claiming sovereignty, you're teaching someone else, like, this is how you do it. If someone does not feel good to be around because every time you're around them, their energy trashes yours, you can keep your distance and say, I do not accept. I do not identify with that energy. I am not willing to take that energy in. You can believe it all you want, but I will not believe it, and I will not tolerate it in my temple. If you want to worship, go somewhere else. We don't worship shadows and demons here. We worship the light, right? The divine light within the self. I'm not going to pay homage or sacrifice my temple for your demons. The new mirror looks like you extending emotional intelligence, spiritual intelligence to people who don't have it, and choosing your battles and knowing when to walk away, knowing when to let things go, knowing when to separate yourself, and how to separate yourself, whether it is literally removing someone from your experience or throwing their shadow back at them in a very playful and lighthearted way, where they know it's not bothering you, but it maybe starts to bother them that you threw it back at them, and they stop throwing shade your way because they don't like the result. That's how you create distance between you and other people who are not in alignment with you, by cutting them off directly when and if you can, and or by throwing it back at them so that they don't actually want to invade your energy space. Could you imagine if someone came to walk into the temple to ruin it, and every time they did, someone just doused them with holy water? Could you imagine someone walking in truly to like do horrible things to your energy and just dousing them with holy water, and they're soaking fucking wet, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm never walking in this door again because every time I do, I get soaking fucking wet. And I hate it. Right? And it's kind of that vibe you have to be in, you know. It's like this mindset of, I'm just going to soak them with holy water. They try and step into my energy space, I'm just going to soak them with holy water, see if they like it. You know, it's like almost, it's like killing them with kindness in a sense, because, you know, they could throw all the shade they want, but if it doesn't bother you and you could just laugh and respond with something super kind, not only are they going to be confused, they're not going to get the response that they actually wanted to get, which is seeing you upset or seeing you uncomfortable, seeing you smiling and hiding the fact that they hurt you and they know it. You know, they're not getting that response. They're getting doused with fucking holy water. It's like, let the love rain down. Literally, and just letting your energy be such a blessing. Because that's exactly what it is. Let your energy be such a blessing, right? That bright destiny, beautiful blessing energy where you're just transformed, and the sheer witnessing of you is beautiful. The witnessing of how you run, the witnessing of how you function, the witnessing of what you value, the witnessing of your strength, right? The solar plexus is dominated by the sun. It is very Leo energy. And it's that presence, right? It's that high presence of, I am in control of my energy, where you are dealing, or we're dealing with people who were out of control of their energy. You're showing them what it looks like to be in control of their energy because you're in control of yours. And it's healing. Not only is it healing for you because you're not tolerating any of their shit, it's healing for them because they are learning that what they're doing is not acceptable. And maybe no one doused them with that kind of holy water before. You know what I mean? On a real note. So secret code name, Giraffe. I have faith that if you were drawn to this read, this is your read, that it has absolutely helped you say thank you for your presence in getting this read. If you were drawn to the secret code name and it has helped you, this is their ripple, right? This is their personal reading. This is their ripple. If you were helped by this message and the fact that it was able to be, reviewable like this publicly for you to receive, then drop a thank you in the comments for them. Let them know that you appreciate the fact that they got this message and that it was able to help you too, because you needed it, right? So much love to all of you. We're going to do Miracle Crystal next. I'll see you guys in just a bit. Bye.